Welcome back. Dive into the second part of our Synthetic Voices series. While the previous video tackled questions 1 to 4, this one unfolds the remaining 4 to 8. Let's master OET Reading Part C together. Synthetic Voices, questions 4 to 8. Let's look at the question first. So, the question is, what is the writer trying to highlight by using the phrase raising the bar? The correct answer is D, number of new communication systems. Now, if we read the paragraph, thankfully, the technology continued to develop and devices became smaller, easier to use, and more sophisticated. In the United States, there are now over 2 million people who rely on such devices in their day-to-day communications. Yet many users still have to make do with a limited number of vocal choices, often less than a dozen, with the majority of available voices sounding adult and/or male. This is extremely problematic, as users need to choose a voice that they feel represents who they are. Proponents of new digital voice banks are working toward raising the bar by steadily widening the scope for self-expression among the many millions of diverse users of AACs. The correct answer for this question is D. The process is extremely time-consuming. Now let us read the paragraph together. If patients are gradually losing their voice but still able to speak, they may be able to record their own voice to use with their AAC. Another alternative open to patients is to make use of the increasing number of voices being donated, although voice donation does not require the contributor to physically give a part of themselves away, as is the case with classic medical donations. Donators certainly must go the extra mile. The process of voice donation is much more extensive than, say, donating a kidney or other physical organ. While the donation of an organ requires a relatively short stay in hospital, to donate a voice requires many weeks of donor commitment. Donors must speak many thousands of pre-selected words, phrases, and sentences into a recording microphone. Some companies offer a service tailored to the user, who can read science fiction or fantasy stories out loud or text according to their interests, in order to remain more engaged in the process. So, according to the question, what do we understand by the phrase, go the extra mile? And from the paragraph, we can see that to donate a voice requires many weeks of donor commitment, and it is an extensive process unlike other types of donations, which require relatively less time. That is why D is the correct answer. Well, the correct answer for this question is D, voice donators. When reading the highlighted section of the paragraph, some companies offer a service tailored to the user, who can read science fiction or fantasy stories out loud or texts according to their interests, in order to remain more engaged in the process. This indicates that there are some companies that offer services to voice donators who can read some stories, etc., to remain engaged in the voice donation process. Therefore, the answer is D. The correct answer for this question is C, the synthetic voice used by the professor. Let's read the paragraph. Once a voice has been comprehensively recorded, it then becomes part of the software for AACs and made available to any patient that needs it. Professor Stephen Hawking, the famous Cambridge physicist, began to use an early text-to-speech system in 1986 called call text. Interestingly, the professor never changed his synthetic voice to a more sophisticated design that better imitated natural speech. Instead, Hawking retained call text, explaining that he felt the limited modulations of the voice allowed his speech to be easier to hear and understand during lectures. Clearly, Hawking also came to see it as a part of his identity. 30 years after he began using call text, the software was nearing breakdown, but rather than simply replace it, he had a team of researchers reverse engineer the voice onto a more modern platform. Quote, "Thank you for your time. You can watch the first part of this video that has questions 1 to 4 of synthetic voices in our reading playlist. Please tune in for our next video on Reading Part B tomorrow. If you like this video, please share this video with your friends and colleagues. Please feel free to comment your scores and any other suggestions that you have for us.